global happenings today. We communicate, we analyze global news. Stay tuned.
There's so much tension in the air right now as the president had promised that he's going to rejig his cabinet. Tension everywhere, I must say, especially among the cabinet members, as most of them are not even sure if they are still going to sustain their position in the cabinet of President Bola Tinubu, mostly the ministers who have been serving for 1.5 years now. And sources close to Aso Rock says that so many people are going to be kicked out. Some very shocking name has appeared, but then Nigerians still waiting to see what the president will come up with. But one thing is certain, he's going to rejig his cabinet. And according to the news, the presidency has confirmed a cabinet reshuffle is on the horizon, as indication that up to 11 ministers could soon be relieved of their positions. This development was shared during a media briefing at the presidential villa in Abuja by the special advisor to the president on information and strategy, Bayo Ananuga. Joining Ananuga at the briefing, Otega Ogra, senior special assistant to the president on digital and news media, did not provide a specific timeline for the reshuffle, but hinted that an announcement could be made later this week. Insiders who spoke with Guardian noted that the long-anticipated changes were postponed following the conclusion of the Federal Executive Council meeting on Monday. He says, it is true, President Bola Tinubu has plans to reshuffle his cabinet, but I can't say specifically whether that will be done before the independence celebration on October 1st. Onadoga stated, emphasizing that the president initially appointed his ministers in August of last year. Reports suggest that among those potentially facing dismissal is Chief of Staff to the President Femi Gbajabiamila. While the exact details remain unclear, it has been made known that a comprehensive review of ministerial performance is underway as pressure mounts from various stakeholders for a more effective cabinet. The platform disclosed that former Minister of Work and Housing Babatunde Fashola is noted to have been identified as a likely replacement for Gbajabiamila. If he declines the offer, the current Principal Secretary to the President, Hakeem Mori Okunola, had been identified to fill the void. The Minister of Finance and Coordinating Minister of the Economy, Wale Dung, is expected to get a junior minister in the person of Chairman Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, Mr. Taiwo Oyedele. While decisive action is likely to be taken on the Minister of Humanitarian Affairs and Poverty Alleviation, Beta Edu, insiders noted that the ministry might be scrapped due to the level of malfeasance and corruption perpetuating under the guise of intervention program. Also, the Minister of Communication, Innovation and Digital Economy, Bosun Tijani, Minister of State, Environment and Ecological Management, Isiaq Salako, Minister of Budget and Economic Planning, Atiku Bagudu, Minister of Industry, Trade and Investment, Doris Anite, Minister of Interior, Olabunmi Tunjojo, and a few others may not be lucky in the immediate cabinet reshuffle. According to those familiar with the imminent changes, some ministers may be moved to other ministries, while those found to have performed below par will be removed. The insider also noted that a minister who serves under Buhari administration will likely be returned to serve under the present administration. Official confirmation of the cabinet shake-up comes after months of speculation since Tinubu's first anniversary in office, as Nigerians grumble about the need for better governance performance amid economic challenges. This is also happening against the backdrop of some ministers falling below expectation regarding his renewed hope agenda. A year after President Bola Tinubu inaugurated his 45-minister cabinet, many Nigerians expressed displeasure with the team's performance. Wow. This is something very important. I feel that one of the things that will change the narrative for President Bola Tinubu is inclusivity right now, because the country is going through so much. And personally, if I'm to suggest where he needs to rejig I think the Ministry of Agriculture something very specific should be done about that particular ministry, because we need someone with an innovation who will come up to tell Nigerians what he's going to do and kickstart doing it. I've always been saying this. I'm surprised a ministry, even in the state level, the Ministry of Agriculture finds itself in the federal capital or finds itself in the capital of the state. They have no business there. Their business is more of rural. So, and their staff strength should not be too much so that they can employ more farmers, get a reasonable land mass where people will be cultivating fruit for the government or cultivating plants or crops for Nigeria, so that we can change this narrative about food shortage in the country. It's been an issue of concern, and I feel that the president should also look into that area, bring in a more pragmatic person who can carry out a good, public-private partnership with mechanized farmers and see how we can change the narrative as it has to do with the issue of food shortage in Nigeria. And then the issue of finance should be another area of gross concern. We need experienced hand here. I'm telling you, some consultants should be brought in, the likes of the former finance minister under Buhari, under Jonathan, though she is, director in World Bank. But I think even with that, we can still get some few insight how she was running her show. Because right now, if you claim you have a renewed hope agenda for the Nigerian people, and nobody is feeling it as at now, things are going haywire. Nigerians cannot precisely tell where we are heading. Serious nosedive. Exportation had been out of the whole show. This is not what we are expecting to see. Every day we are watching with our naked eyes as there is a surge in the number of loans the government is collecting, which means that in terms of production, in terms of export, we are almost at a zero level. Our naira is declining every day. What's the way out? Sitting in the office and making unnecessary suggestions, for now, it's very, very unimportant. We need some very pragmatic move. Now, just like I had mentioned, Ministry of Agriculture, that should be a place of concern. If someone would ask me to suggest who will be in that place, I would have wanted someone like the current minister of FCT, Wike. Yeson Wike is a result-oriented person. Let's be real about this. He has his own sides, bad sides and good sides. But I think he's more result-oriented. One of the things he doesn't want to always see, he doesn't want to lose. Yes, I know politically the president will still want him in FCT. Even if it's going to be for the span of just, a period of, let's just say the next 6 months, put him there or make him a supervisory minister in Ministry of Agriculture, and let him understand what you want to see at the end of the day. And I can assure you that man can deliver, because right now, we can't really tell what Nigerians are intending to do with the fact that the pressure is becoming so tough. You could increase the salaries of workers and also judges, but don't forget, greater number of Nigerians are, number one, unemployed. Second level of people, we have so many underemployed people, and we have the artisans, we have also the businessmen. And if you look at this group of people, they have really not been touched. And that's why from the beginning of this issue of removal of subsidy and all of that, I was really against it. The reason why I was against it was subsidy is the only thing that all Nigerians, whether rich or poor, whether businessman or employed, every one of us enjoys subsidy. Whether you want to talk about subsidy in education, talk about subsidy in electricity, talk about subsidy in the fuel, whatever name you want to give it, subsidy is important. Why? Because it affects the generality of people. But for example, now you remove subsidy, say you're going to increase the salaries of workers. How about the underemployed? You're putting them under unnecessary pressure, and that's not good enough for them. So we need people who can we need what we may call strategic thinkers, strategists, people who will step into the show and, give you that leap where you go beyond the grip of poverty, because Nigeria now is almost below the poverty line, and that's not good enough for us and even for your government. want to see a situation whereby the whole thing changed. We are expecting to see that happen. I'm talking about the rejig, the reshuffling of the cabinet anytime from now. And we are hopeful that it will be in favor of Nigerians. That's where we'd like to leave it. Let's meet in the comment section and talk more on this. What's your position in respect to these rejig of the cabinet?